About a drinking contest, boy. Right after I vote on the latest bill.
How about before?
Ha! You remind me of my high school drinking coach. Now enough talking. Let's drink.
Welcome back to Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood. I am Jamie G, mayor of the 19th hole, and I'm here at Magnum, the bane of Bushwood, to break down the 2026 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
I'm more like the friendly golfer than, the big dude breaking Batman's back because he was on the juice or whatever. But we take everybody here at Bushwood. We are very welcoming. Welcome to another episode of the show. Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood is presented by Seats the Gap Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seats the Gap FF and in the same place on the World Wide Web, seatsthegapff.com. Simple and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe if you had fun. Please remember to touch that thumb, and please remember and be aware that we are not affiliated with Draftkings or the Draftkings Sportsbook, but that's where we're getting our odds and wagers from. Everything is accurate as of February 10th, 2026. I did not misspeak. We are already almost halfway through February.
Big shout out here to Chris Gotterup, who shot 64 on Sunday and beat Matsuyamu in a playoff to notch his second victory of the season at the Waste Management. What were the other notable results last week?
This was a crazy one. It was the first week I was really all right. Like, we're going to ride Scotty Scheffler in the round one matchup wagers. Scotty Scheffler, I think, shot 73 over par. It was like the first round over par he had on tour in forever. It was crazy. And then he went all the way back, just missed that playoff by a singular stroke. So Scotty Scheffler is so good. He can almost spot everybody else an entire round and still win. So very good to see that, if you're going to invest in Scheffler, be it in DFS, you're one and done's in the betting market. Even if he lets you down a little bit early, he can still come back. It was also interesting to see that most of the golfers who've been playing very well coming in continue to do so at TPC Scottsdale, even though they didn't really have a great history and or any experience there. So we'll see if that trend can continue at Pebble Beach this week. Shout out to Young Guns continuing to get it done here. Jake Knapp, Nikolai Hogard, Michael Thorbjornsen, Pearson Cootie. These golfers have fantastic names. Shout out to Akshay Bhatia. Came back here with a tied for third. Very consistent, 68, 67, 67, 67. Dude was on a roll. He was really lost for a minute there. Him and Thagala both. So it seems like they're making their way back. Maverick McNeely definitely disappointed me. I had him in my one and done. Shot a 72 on Sunday. Did not get it done. Managed to cash with him on a couple of DraftKings lineups, but certainly not what I was hoping for. And he missed out on your top 10 wagers. Cameron Young and Xander Schauffele both disappointed here, but I will say that Cam Young struck the ball pretty well. And Xander Schauffele was one of the better golfers on Sunday. Shot 5 under, I believe. Hope he can kind of keep that momentum up coming into Pebble. And Brooks Koepka, just my biggest disappointment of the week. Really thought Brooks was going to get it done. Played okay in his initial event. Struck the ball well, did not putt well. Thought he would get it under control here on the greens in an event on a course that he had played well before, and it just didn't work out for Brooks. He was a little bit of a mess, so I'm definitely going to be backing off of him a little bit. Of course, everyone will be. Probably a good buying opportunity, but I think he needs to go on the see it to believe it list. And as always, Jamie G, the 16th hole at the Waste Management, the WM Phoenix Open, was a very, very good time. I don't always understand how everybody picks out their particular costumes and everything, but man, that feels like it would be something really fun to do, right? To go to there, kind of dress up with a bunch of guys, but I feel like I might have missed my window. Are we getting too old for this? Are we in Murtaugh territory for the WM, or you think we could still, throw on a get up and go down there?
I think if we did, it would have to be like once every, couple of
Oh,
years
just
here.
once. I'm not even asking for multiples here. I'm
It's a
just
big
looking
ask, man. I mean,
for a solo, man.
I think we could still pull it off. I think we could still pull it off.
Fair enough, fair enough. And one thing I will add to my notes for next year for this event, there was a significant difference in difficulty for the AM PM waves, especially on Thursday. Those in the morning had it much easier. Scoring was much lower. I think Sam Stevens was the only player who was in the PM wave that managed to crack the top 10 going into Friday. So that's just something to file away next year, given the desert conditions at that course. That sometimes maybe the AM PM thing is a little bit of a significant edge. So it's one thing we want to track going forward.
Before we get into the Pebble Beach Pro-Am here, let's have a little fun with the questions three.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions three.
Three questions. What if you get a question wrong? Then you are cast into the gorge of eternal peril.
Ask me the questions. I am not afraid.
And we shall watch and pray.
If you were going to play a round of golf with a professional golfer, would you want it to be a big event like the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, or would you rather just play around, I don't know, at your local club?
In a vacuum, I think it's local club, both because I'm liable to get frustrated when I'm getting killed, no matter how many strokes I'm getting. And your local club, professional golfers can get frustrated on a muni course, man. They're used to certain conditions. Like if greens break really weird or whatever, like it's not like you're going to win, but you might be able to have enough advantage that you take away a couple skins. Plus, I think a professional golfer would be more likely to kind of ease up and have fun in that kind of environment when you're not on television. I will say if it was like the old school Pebble Beach program where like Bill Murray was there and you could like play with a professional golfer and Bill Murray, then I'm doing it so I could play with Bill Murray just to be in it. I'll deal with the public factor of it. But I think for the most part, I would go the kind of the local muni route, your local club, what have you. How about yourself, man? Would you go for the limelight here? You want to be on TV doing the big things, or would you rather just keep it a little bit more chill at your local?
Yeah, I don't know that my golf game is ready for me to be on the bigs yet in the main event at the all the world looking at me. I think I just keep it local here, have a cigar, drink a couple beers, and have a good time.
It'd be one of those things, as long as they only promise to show my good shots, I would be okay with the crowd booing as long as I looked okay on television. But I would need the helpful edit on that one, I think, for the most part. I could hit like two good shots, you know what I mean? Over 18 holes, I feel like I could hit two good ones they could show, and as long as they only show that, that's how people would perceive you. So, it's all about the editing.
Yep, I'm good for at least one or two good shots. Question two. Where do you stand on the use of speakers on a golf course? Are you bumping some tunes here, boogieing down, or do you want it nice and quiet?
I was always a fan of, I would practice with like a Discman and headphones back in the day before the days of Bluetooth and wireless. Let me tell you how difficult that was. It was one of the few reasons I kept the tape deck around, like the tape Walkman, just to have because the CD player not so good when you were practicing golf. I am generally for it. If somebody in your group is against it, or if somebody is really bothered, you can turn it down. The only thing I don't like, JBG, this is a tough one to figure out. If you are playing, you got your two guys on a cart, you got the other two guys on a cart, you both have speakers. I don't like when both are playing music. It's okay when you get far apart, but when you're together, it's just really annoying, right? It's like, just having two songs on at the same time. So I feel like if you're going to do it, there should be a system in that, you do a little match against each other, or you get on the odd holes, we get on the even holes or something, just so you don't get into the overlapping music. And that could get a little bit annoying, but generally I'm for it. How about yourself, man? How do you feel? Because this is a new thing, man. Like this is the last decade or so that this has been okay. Like back in the day, it was a faux pas to have music. I mean, they made fun of it in Caddyshack, literally with Dangerfield. Like no one did that.
Yeah, I'm for it. I like it. We're having a good time. We're having fun out in the sun. I think there's nothing wrong with having some music playing there and just enjoying it. I'm with you though. I don't like when there's dueling speakers. It just is too muddy
It's
the
too
water
much
too
if you're
much. But
all at the same
overall,
tee box and that kind
absolutely.
of thing. Like sometimes you have like, you're playing the forward tees, back tees, but
Yeah, you can't just be blaring it, but like you're having a little bit of music on, hanging out with the fellas while you're playing some golf. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, a lot of space in most golf courses too. There you can make a little bit of noise. It's okay.
Question three. Mills, give us the top three golfer names in the field this week. I don't care how they play. I just want the best names.
See, we're down to only 80 golfers in the field. I do not have the names of the amateurs, so we're just going to stick with the pros here. And we're going to try to also highlight some guys who've been playing well. And number three, JVG, maybe it's a little bit of a shout out to Dennis Reynolds here because you have Michael Thor Bjornsson. Dude, if you're Michael Thor Bjornsson, don't you have a Hammer of Thor celebration? Like, couldn't you do a really awesome Hammer of Thor thing?
You would think, dude. I mean, you could have the best celebration in the game.
And then at number two, you got the alliteration, the shortness. It works perfectly. You have Harry Hall, a little basic, but I don't know, Jamie G. Would you think he would be a rapper, a reality television star, or a British pop star? Harry Hall.
Oh man, I'm
I'm going
gonna.
British pop star. I know they have a
Yeah,
Harry
that's where I'm
Styles,
going
but
to. He could be all three, but I'm going British pop star too.
Harry Hall Jr. would be a reality show star, though, I feel. Like the junior changes it up. Then you class it up again with three, and then you get down to the fourth, and then you're at a rapper, maybe. And then finally, shout
AT&T,
out to the
dude.
guy, dude. Let's shout out to the guy here, Chris Gotterup, man. He's won 2 tournaments so far this season, already a 2-time winner. And dude, you can do so much with Gotterup. Get her up, got her up, go up. Like there's so many different things you can do with that name. It just there's a lot there, right? Like it feels like Chris Gotterup is a name that Chris Berman would go crazy with if he was a football player. Look, get Gotterup, go. There's just a lot of
Ton of nicknames there, a lot of potential. I definitely like that one.
get her up, got her up.
Once again, we've got a fairly unique event here. This is a pro-am being held on multiple courses, so we do need to figure out what we're working with here. It's time to ring the bell, baby, for the tale of the tape.
This is the 2026 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. The main course to host here is the Pebble Beach Golf Links in Pebble Beach, California. We're also going to be playing one round on Spyglass Hill. That's also in Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach Golf Links checks in at a par 72, 6,989 yards, one of the shortest courses on the PGA Tour this season. Spyglass Hill is not that much different, a par 72, checking in at 7,071 yards. This is a pro-am for the first 2 days. You have 80 professionals paired up with 80 amateurs. The team event for the pro-am is a best ball over the first 2 days. Each team will play one round on one course. So between Thursday and Friday, everybody's playing Pebble once and Spyglass once. The pros will play the final 2 rounds over the weekend on Pebble Beach. This is the first signature event of the season, so we have no cut, and we have a lot of money at stake here. $20 million in the purse. The winner is taking home $3.6 million and 700 FedEx Cup points. The 2025 defending champion is Rory McIlroy. He shot 21 under last year. And Jamie G, they're out in California, but it does not necessarily look like it's always sunny in Cali. What is the weather forecast looking like as of now? We're recording this Tuesday night for the Pebble Beach AT&T.
Always, and I mean always, check the latest forecast before finalizing any wagers and lineups. We're on the coast here, so the weather, especially the wind, can change super quick here without a ton of notice. So just be careful. We're starting off the week, though, on the right foot. On Thursday and Friday, we're looking at temps in the high 50s to low 60s. Just a couple of clouds, winds around 10 miles per hour. Possible gusts, though, up to 20. Saturday, getting a little uglier, Mills, getting a little uglier. We got a cloudy day here with a high of 60 degrees, winds around 10 miles per hour, gusting again up to 20 miles an hour. Sunday, it looks like the worst weather by far. We've got temperatures in the mid to high 50s, winds up around 10 miles an hour, gusts up around 20 miles an hour, and a 91% chance of precipitation. Could be a wet one.
Yeah, that does not sound great. There's not a lot we can do on the weekend when it comes to controlling what tee times our golfers will play at. So that's really only applicable in Showdown. As of now, it doesn't look like there's a real wave stacking advantage on Thursday or Friday when you want to get all the golfers in on the same wave because it looks like they're going to have a more favorable draw when it comes to the weather. But like Jamie G said, that could change. Make sure you keep an eye on the weather. Right now, if you're playing in a large field tournament, I don't mind throwing in a wave stack or two. Again, just 6 golfers all teeing off relatively in the same time frame to each other. You have the AM, PM, tee time wave stack, so you generally want 6 guys in the AM or 6 guys in the PM. Again, not a strategy I'm going to lean completely into this week, but it's always good to have a couple of eggs in your basket. So diversify your bonds a little bit, maybe throw in a wave stack line or two early, but I'm not going to go too crazy with it because it's really not a clear edge for either wave at this point.
What are your overall thoughts, though, on the courses themselves, and what type of golfers are you targeting on this one?
For the most part, Pebble is tougher than Spyglass, but they're very similar. So I'm not going to get too far into Spyglass specifically because we're only going to play one of 3 rounds there. So I'm going to kind of focus the majority of the analysis on the Pebble Beach Golf Links. I mean, this is an extremely famous course, one of the best looking golf courses in America, but extremely short. This is a less than driver course. Good driving is probably the driving metric I am most interested in here. It's a second shot golf course, some of the smallest greens of any course the golfers will play this season. You're going to hit a lot of wedges, a lot of short irons for these golfers. So you like to look at that short area, short yardage proximity, but you need to get close. This has been referred to as a dart throwing putting contest. You got to find the fairway, throw darts at the green, and make some putts. It's pretty clear that the winning score, unless something changes drastically, is going to be in the 17 under to 20 under range. You can get in a little bit of trouble, but because it is a no-cut event, you can lean a little bit more into ceiling than you might otherwise. This is a course with straight POA greens. They can be very tough for some golfers, and they can be very advantageous to golfers who like putting on POA. So that's something I'm going to build fairly heavily into my model this week. It's also a course where you need to scramble. If you miss the green, you need to be able to get up and down and make your par. So I'm also leaning more on strokes gained around the green and scrambling this week. Gun to my head, probably more on the scrambling aspect because it does incorporate putting a little bit more. But in general, you want guys who can play around the greens. If you want to throw sand saves or just play on courses with a lot of bunkers, that's a good move here because there are more bunkers on Pebble Beach than any other golf course that the golfers will play this season on tour. So a lot of bunkers here. You have to be careful. It's one thing to get a save from a bunker around the green, but if you get in some of these fairway bunkers, you can most definitely get in trouble. This isn't going to play quite as tough as it did when it hosted the US Open, but they will let the rough grow out a little bit here despite the Pro-Am because it is a signature event. So you got to kind of lean on guys who are going to be able to convert, guys who have played here before help. There are a lot of kind of, hot golfers coming in here, but for the most part, I want golfers that have played the course rotation, that have played in the Pro-Am, that are very good ball strikers, and generally have at least shown some ability to scramble well and get hot on the greens, especially on pure POA.
How about the field and the format of the event? It's the first signature event of the season, but we've also got the Pro-Am going on here, and we're playing multiple courses. Is that impacting the approach this week?
Well, yeah, once again, having Scheffler here is a big deal, but at least we kind of have Rory as a middle class option here. Scheffler's down a little bit this week. He's only 14K. He was 14.5 last week. Rory's back in the field here, 11.5 as the defending champion. So most definitely more of a middle ground there. Once again, then you drop down to kind of that low 10K, high 9K region from there. Very, very stacked field. 27 of the top 30 golfers in the world. Makes sense given that it is a signature event. This has been a very, very consistent event. The winner has been somewhere between 17 under and 20 under for the last decade, more or less, tossing out maybe the 1 year where they only went 3 rounds. It's very likely we're going to see, we'll probably even bet on a little bit, one of the big dogs taking this one down. I think it's certainly possible we're going to see a couple of guys spike, maybe a top 5, couple top 10, certainly a couple of top 20s from the bottom of the board in terms of pricing with the salary on Draftkings or whether you're wagering on these guys. But for the most part, I wouldn't get too tricky with your win bets, and I would want to, try to work high quality golfers into your DraftKings lineups wherever possible. It is a no cut event, so that allows you to be a little bit more aggressive. We do have some possible poor weather on Sunday, so that might hurt the ability of some of these guys who are trailing to kind of come out and shoot some of these lower, no pressure rounds we see happen on Sunday at low salary that drive showdown contest victories. So definitely something you're going to want to keep an eye on. I think it's much easier, much more feasible to play Scheffler this week than it was last week. Not only is he $500 cheaper, but you have a much higher quality field. And given that it is a condensed field with the signature event and the 80 golfers, it's much easier to make a lineup you can live with Scheffler. Although I will say, if you want to build some balanced lineups this week where you don't pay up more than, say, 9,500 or something like that for a golfer, you can make some lineups that absolutely look awesome. And this is a case where I might lean slightly more on course history and tournament experience than I was going to because of the weather, the possible inclement conditions. I think that's very interesting this week because you can take a stand on some golfers that are coming in. They have been playing great, but they do not have experience here. And then there's another set of golfers that have played generally pretty well here, but they have not been playing great or played much at all. And I think picking one of those routes or correctly picking between the two is probably the ultimate key to really making some money this week.
Here on Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood, we are down with the king. So let's get into our DraftKings picks here for the Pebble Beach, starting with a little chalk talk. Who are the highly owned players we should be locking into our lineups this week?
Right up the top, you have the guy, Scotty Scheffler, $14,000. Right now projecting for 31% ownership, but I expect that number to be a significant bit higher in your cash games, your head-to-heads, double up 50-50s, and probably your single entry tournaments. Doesn't matter. He's going to be my cash game anchor this week. He showed it last week, despite having about the most disappointing round possible in round one. Still gave himself a chance to win the golf tournament. Didn't quite pay off the tag, but certainly didn't punish you if you played him in cash. So I think you have to go there. Solid enough history here. Finished tied for 9, tied for 6 the last 2 years. Bet on fire thus far this year. That tied for third last week, finishing 1 stroke out of the playoff, and then he won his event previous to that. So you can't really argue with the form. He's first in the model, 5th in the metric for difficult POA greens, one of his better surfaces, and 23rd in our metric for the tough short courses. It's all shaping up for Scotty Scheffler, so I'll probably be around the field in large field tournaments, call it that 30%, but he is definitely going to be locked into my primary cash game lineup and probably my primary single entry tournament lineup. And then we got the Burger Man, Daniel Berger, 8K projecting for about 16% ownership. Last time he played here back in 2021, he took it down. He's been on a little bit of a ride in terms of medical issues, but he seems to be lining up well. The recent form is solid. He finished tied for 16th at the Waste Management, tied for 56th at the American Express, not as good, but tied for 6th at the Sony, much better than that. Came in 14th in our model, and he came in 11th in the metric here for the difficult POA greens. I think it's going to be a bit of a putting contest, whether the weather remains good or is a little bit on the tough side. So really favoring Berger here. Also very, very good on the short, tough courses. Came in 12th in that metric. So might be a good weekend to throw a Berger on the grill.
After eating all that chalk, we're probably going to need a seaweed break. Who are the highly owned players we should stay away from?
In terms of on DraftKings here, we're down with the king. That's what we're talking about. I'm going to be very, very careful with Russell Henley at 6,200, projecting for about 24% ownership. Right now, that makes him the 3rd most owned golfer in the field, according to our projections. And I like him a lot. He looks very good on paper. Finished tied for 4th here last year. He's finished tied for 8th, tied for 19th in his first 2 events this season. Came in 2nd in the model. All that checks out. I'm just a little bit gun shy after last year, where he tended to underperform in these bigger events with the strongest fields. I definitely like him in a vacuum, but he's priced up a little bit higher than I would like here, and he's picking up against significant ownership. So I'm just going to be a little bit careful. He's also notably better in round one, so he might be a guy that I don't necessarily work as much into my tournament long lineups, but maybe lean more heavily on in my round one showdown lineups, and I will certainly have some exposure. I like him very much. Is like a top 20 wager this week, but I'm not quite sure he's going to be worth the ownership he's picking up right now. And then we got one of our young guns. You go down to 7,600. We have our guy Pearson Cootie here, projecting for about 18% ownership. He's been killing it this season. Through 4 events, he's finished 10th, 2nd, 18th, and 13th. This is awesome. Came in 5th in the model. All looks good, but he's got no history here, and he's a guy who's been getting it done, not primarily off the tee. He's been pretty well-rounded, but he has been first in strokes gained off the tee this season, and this is a less-than-driver golf course. I think it's just a case where it's going to neuter one of his biggest advantages. Maybe he can get there, but as a young player, without any experience here, maybe not the best fit. Picking up a lot of ownership, probably looks like a guy I could stay away from this week.
Pearson Cootie. What a name, man. The hits keep on coming. Who do we have as the dynamic duo this week? Which pair of players do you find yourself using the most partnering up?
Well, yeah, I got the double D's, baby, and I've already talked about Daniel Berger at 8,000. But then you got Denny McCarthy, Denny McCarthy, 6,800. He is a putting specialist, and what I like about this is it's a lineup that you can actually play this duo. You can do it with Scotty Scheffler if you want to pay up, or it's a very viable combination if you want to go with a lower priced, highest salary golfer in your lineup, or more of a balanced build. So I think it's a little bit of a best of both worlds thing. Denny McCarthy, a little inconsistent, but he's had some success here. His last 4 appearances, he's finished 58th, 26th, 4th, and 12th. Scuffling a little bit to start the season here, 46th, 56th, 40th, but he came in 17th in the model and 3rd in the metric for the difficult POA greens. I mean, this is the guy you want if this turns into a putting contest on POA. Came in 24th on the metric for the short, tough golf courses. So it literally looks like a place where he could do very, very well. Love the top 20 wager. He hasn't quite put it all together this season. He's looked good in all aspects between the 3 tournaments, but if he can put it all together here, I think a top 10 is certainly within the range of outcomes. And again, really loving the top 20 here. He can get it done with the flat stick, good enough ball striker. So the double D's, Jamie G, the dynamic duo, dynamic duo, Daniel Denny.
D4. How about a couple of plays for large field tournaments here? Who's our tournament trio this week?
This is a great type of trio to start with if you want to play in a larger field tournament, one of these GPPs, guaranteed prize pool tournaments, where you can have 150 lineups. Up top here, we got the Oberg, Ludwig Oberg, 8,300. He's had a weird start to this season. It's the 2nd year in a row he's had kind of a weird start. He withdrew from the Amex with an illness, missed the cut at the Farmers, still seemed to be a bit under the weather. Last year, he had to withdraw here with an injury, but the year before he finished 2nd. I love the upside here in a tournament. I feel like he's underpriced by several $100s. If he was 9,200 even, it would not have shocked me. And he's picking up less than 10% ownership, so I think it makes him a great tournament play. And if you go right under him, you have Jamie G's one and done pick from last week, Cameron Young, disappointed a little bit in his season debut. He's priced 8,100 here. Not the greatest start to the season. He's only finished 72nd and 70th the last 2 years here. So you're like, oh, why are you going to him? Because he came in 13th in the model and 4th in the difficult POA greens metric. He can get it done here. Yes, he's a little bit discounted here because he is very good off the tee and the length won't play as well, but he is an elite ball striker who took a big step forward in the FedEx Cup playoffs last year. So I feel like he is underpriced relative to his talent, and he's not picking up the commensurate ownership to go with that discounted price. So makes him a second guy in our tournament trio. Great play here. And then the third guy, you're going to have some balls here, but if you go down to 7,800, you have Colin Morikawa. This is kind of amazing that he's here, but it's not that surprising if you look at his start to the season. He tied for 54th at the Waste Management and missed the cut at the Sony. But the last 2 years here, he's finished in the top 20, 17th and 14th, came in 15th in the model and 17th in the metric for these tough, short courses. Seems to fit. Very, very much struggling with the putter right now. But I think if he's going to get it on track, it will be on a tougher course where he's had success before. I love the price tag, 7,800. You think for that Colin Morikawa, he's picking up 15% ownership. Got him at about 8% right now, Jamie G. So I love this tournament trio here. You start with these three guys, Ludwig Oberg, Cameron Young, Colin Morikawa. You have a ton of flexibility. You can build some very interesting lineups. You can stick with that balance build. You can pay up, dumpster dive a little bit. A lot of optionality. None of them picking up a ton of ownership. All of them have great upside, and that's especially important in a no-cut event.
We always need some cheaper options to make our lineups work, and luckily, we've got a doctor to help us out with that.
Take it from me. I am a doctor. Dr. Toboggan. Mantis Toboggan.
Shout out Mantis Toboggan. The doc has a few prescriptions on the pad this week. Obviously, we mentioned Denny McCarthy already. You can go ahead and work him in at 6,800. Slightly under him, it's not Mr. Rogers, but maybe it's his cousin. We got Patrick Rogers. He is 6,600. Some mixed form this season, but did finish tied for third at the Sony. So showing a little bit of some high-end upside. Only came in 63rd in the model, but came in second in the metric for performance on these tough POA greens and 8th in the metric for these tough short courses. Finished tied for 22nd here last year, so it makes sense that he can perform in a place that kind of fits his skill set. Next up, we got the sandwich man, Jamie G, our guy, Tom Hoge, 6,500. He is a course horse. The last 5 appearances here, he's finished 17th, 6th, 48th, 1st, and 12th. Up and down start to the season for him, but did finish tied for 8th at the American Express. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. And then finally, we got, I guess he's an old man now, although he's about my age, Lucas Glover, only 6,300. He has not teed it up yet on the tour this season, but he did finish tied for third here last year. Only came in 49th in the model, but another guy who's great on these short, tough courses. POA is the only surface where he gains strokes with the flat stick. He's another great ball striker that really struggles with the putter. So I think this is one of the better places to work him in, especially considering the fact that he is 6,300, not picking up a ton of ownership. So again, he's a Bob. He's a boom or bust guy, but that's what you're looking for in the dumpster. So shout out to Dr. Toboggan. We got Denny McCarthy, Patrick Rogers, Tom Hoge, and Lucas Glover in the dumpster this week.
One of the best parts about golf is getting your wager on, and that's what we're going to do as we bet it, bank it, blow it.
Please remember, we are not affiliated with the Draftkings Sportsbook, but that's where we're getting our odds and wagers from. Everything is accurate as of February 10th, 2026. Here on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, our preferred currency is the Cricket coin. In Cricket, we trust for some reason, so all of our wagers will be in the form of Cricket coins.
First up, we got our position propositions. We're each going to give you a couple of our favorite finishing position wagers. Mills, go ahead and tell everybody how this one works.
Every week, Jamie G and I will be making 3 wagers. Here, we're going to make a top 5 wager with 25 Cricket coins on the line. Up in the stakes for 50 Cricket coins for a top 10 finish. And then finally, we're going to put 100 Cricket coins on our favorite top 20 finishing position wager for the week. All of these are including ties. Last week for the Phoenix Open, I led the way. I turned a profit of 242 coins. I went 2 for 3. I hit on Siwoo Kim to finish in the top 5 and Sathagala to finish in the top 20. Missed on Brooks Koepka to finish in the top 10. Jamie G went 1 for 2, but still managed to turn a profit of a little bit over 21 coins. I missed on Brooks Koepka top 5 and Xander Schauffele top 10, but hit on Hideki Matsuyama to finish in the top 20. So for the event, we turned a profit of about 263 coins. For the season, I'm up about 128 coins. Jamie G's up about 69, putting us up about 198 coins for the season. Jamie G, I just talked for a minute. Lead us off, man. Show us the way. Give us your finishing position wagers for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and put 25 coins on Rory McIlroy here to finish in the top 5 this week, including ties. That's plus 250, 25 coins to win back 87.50. And look, he's the defending champion who came in #1 in our metric for performance on tough short courses. Like him in this spot. 50 coins are going to go on Maverick McNeely to finish in the top 10, including ties. That's plus 220. So 50 coins there to win 160. He did finish tied for second here in 2021, and he's finished 13th in 10th in the last 2 events this season. Running hot here. Came in 10th in our model. First in our performance metric for tough POA greens, and 13th in tough short course metrics. So like him in this spot. Putting 100 coins, Mills, on Xander Schauffele to finish in the top 20. This is minus 120. So 100 coins there to win back 183. He did come in 19th in our model, 3rd in performance on these tough short courses. He's struggled to start the season, but turned in one of the best rounds on Sunday. So hopefully he's rounding into form for us.
He looked very good on Sunday. And Jamie G, here's the most important question. Cooler name, Maverick McNeely or Xander Schauffele?
They're so great, but both are awesome top tier, but I'm going Maverick McNeely. It's just too good.
The alliteration is great, but X gonna give it to you today. I'm gonna give it a five. So I'm gonna go with the X Man here. X gonna give it to you. I am going to start off hoping for some repeat history here with my top 5 wager. I have 25 cricket coins on Justin Rose to finish in the top 5, including ties. That's plus 470, so 25 coins to bring back about $1.43. He is a course horse. The last 3 years here, he's finished 3rd, 11th, and he won the jaunt. Coming off a win at the Farmers, you cannot ask for much better form. Came in 11th in the model and 2nd in the short tough course metric. Also considered him for my top 10 wager, but I like the number I was getting here for the top 5. For that top 10 wager, I am sticking with it, man. I'm going to see Woo Kim, see him finish in the top 10 again. 50 coins at plus 188 brings you back $1.44. He has been great here, finishing 12th and 14th the last 2 years. He is on absolute fire to start the season. The 4 events he's played in thus far, he's finished 3rd, 2nd, 6th, and 11th, so you could almost lock in that top 10 wager. Also came in 4th in the model and 19th in the performance on difficult POA greens, and which is a big deal for him because he usually struggles with the flat stick. Hard not to ride the heater. Almost considered him going with him again here for the top 5. He brought it in for me last week, so I'm going to listen to X-Man, stop being greedy, just going to go with the top 10 instead of the top 5 here for Siwoo this week. Finally, I am going to eat that burger for my top 20 wager. I have 100 cricket coins on Daniel Berger to finish in the top 20 plus ties. That's plus 158. So 100 coins to bring back 258. Hasn't played here the past few years, but the last time he played here back in 2021, he won the whole thing. Looks good in the model. Came in 14th there, 11th in the metric for performance on difficult POA greens, and 12th in the metric for performance on tough short courses. And the recent form is very, very solid. Finished tied for 16th at the Waste Management. Not as great with the tie for 56 at the American Express, but love that top 6 at the Sony. So those are my guys, Jamie G. Justin Rose, Siwoo Kim, Daniel Berger. There's something in there about being kissed by a rose from the burger. See you win, but I'm not quite there yet, but I like our position wagers.
Let's move on to our matchup wagers. These can be anything from head-to-head matchups to tournament groups with 5 or 6 golfers. The objective here is the same, no matter how many golfers are involved. We just need to pick the golfer who shoots the lowest score. It's just that simple, Mills. Just that simple.
It seemed that simple going into last week. I had two different round one three balls, and of course, I lost them both. In the three ball with Scotty Scheffler, he lost to Chris Gotterup. And then in the three ball, I had Brooks Koepka. He lost to Cameron Young, so booked a loss of 200 coins last week, bringing me to 500 down on the season for the matchup wagers. Really need to get these on point, but part of the problem is here as we record these on Tuesday, not always the biggest menu, but I did find two that I like this week. Right now, I have one tournament group wager. This is Group E if you're playing over on Draftkings. I'm going to put 100 cricket coins on Jason Day here. He is plus 280. The other golfers in the group are Harris English at plus 300, Mr. Burns, Sam Burns at plus 330, Colin Morikawa at plus 360, and Harry Hall at plus 395. Morikawa and Burns have definitely been good here over the years, so scares me a little bit, but I'm not too worried about Harry Hall despite the great name or Harris English. So I feel like it's kind of knocking it down to almost a three ball here. So at plus 280, I will take those odds. And then we got a fun one here because you don't have to deal with the Scotty Scheffler of it all. I'm going to go with a wager on the top past champion. The options are Rory McIlroy at plus 164, Justin Rose at plus 320, Daniel Berger at plus 600, Nick Taylor plus 710, Jordan Spieth plus 720, Wyndham Clark plus 760, and the Sandwich Man, Tom Hoagie plus 1700. Love the Sandwich Man, but I'll put my 100 cricket coins here on Justin Rose plus 320. Again, all he has to do is finish the best of this group of 7 golfers. I think Rory's performance here last year was a little bit of an outlier. I do like Berger and Taylor here. Don't mind Hoagie, but I'm not really a huge fan of Spieth or Clark. So I like the number that I'm getting here with the plus 320. And Jamie G, can you ever go wrong when you're being kissed by a rose?
Yeah, neither can you go wrong with Burger or a good hoagie. I mean, they're both really good, so enjoy that. Find your cart girl first though, because it is time to party. And here on Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, we don't just party. We partay at the parlay partay. Just like any good party, it's fun, but also a little dangerous.
Just like any good partay or any good parlay. We're going to be changing up how we do this based on the event, based on the field, trying to get the best odds possible. Didn't work out for us last week. Had 100 cricket coins on a 3-leg top 20 parlay, including ties. Hit on Hideki Matsuyama and Siwoo Kim. In fact, they both finished in the top 5, but also had Brooks Koepka in there, and he missed the cut. So no Moss there, no good for us. Lost 100 cricket coins, but still up 341 coins in the partay this season. This week, JVG couldn't decide, so we're going to go with 2 different parlays. First up here, we have a 2-leg top 10 parlay, including ties. This comes out at plus 807. We have Siwoo Kim at plus 188 and Justin Rose at plus 215. Again, both of these golfers must finish tied for 10th or better, but checking in at plus 807 means if you put 100 cricket coins on it, you're bringing back 907 cricket coins. And then we're going to go with the traditional 3-leg top 20 parlay plus ties. This pays out at plus 1124, so that is a nice hefty number there. We're looking for Patrick Cantlay at plus 110, Jason Day at plus 126, and Daniel Berger plus 158 to all finish in the top 20 plus ties. So that means tie for 20th or better. If that happens, our 100 cricket coins will be wagered at that plus 1124 odds, and we will bring back 1,224 cricket coins. And Jamie G, if we can scoop both of these, what a partay it will be.
Yes, it will. And we're going to finish up our wagers here with a couple of fun options, a little this or that. We got a couple of random wagers that'll change from event to event.
Last week, JBG, we each hit on one wager. It was the over on the birdies or better on hole 16 for the Waste Management in round one only. You went over 16 and a half. I went over 19 and a half. There were 20. So we both got paid out on that one, but we both missed on there being a hole in one for the tournament. We both missed on the field winning over the big guns, and we both missed on the winner of the tournament parring the 72nd hole. So I booked a loss of 27 and a half coins. You booked a loss of about 56 coins, putting us down about 83 coins overall for the event. For this and that over the course of the season, I'm down about 43 coins. You're down about 62, putting us down about 105 overall. Jamie G, this was a fun one here. The odds are in favor of there being a hole in one for the tournament. It's minus 110, but the odds for each round are even plus 450. So I figured out what the hell. There's got to be a hole in one in one of these rounds. Which round will it be? Jamie G, what do you think? Round one, two, three, or four? Which one you put your money on for there to be a hole in one?
I'm going with round one, man. It's plus 450. And I just, with a course like this where it's so close to the coast and you never know what the weather's going to be, getting those greens early before any damage has been done to them, I think increases the odds here. And usually that opening day looks like the best weather-wise here. So I'm going to go with round one plus 450, 25 coins to win back 137 and 50 cent.
I like when you make it easy. Everything he said, I'm also going with round one. I think weather makes a big difference here. Next up, we have our classic. We love doing this, the big guns versus the field. Big guns this week, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Siwoo Kim, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland, Chris Goddard, shout out him, making it into the big guns, and Cam Young. So those guys plus 105 to win. Your other option is you can take the field. Everybody else at minus 136. Jamie G, we both missed this one last week. Are you trusting the big guns again? You're going to go with the field.
I'm going back with my guns here, dude. I'm going big guns again to hit. Plus 105 here, 25 coins to win 51. There's so many names on that list. It's hard for me to get away from it. I'm gonna go big guns.
I think, especially in a signature event here with only 80 golfers and 27 of the top 30 in the world in here, I'm with you here, man. Give me the big guns. Feels like a big guns event. So 25 to bring back about 51. And then this one is basically a coin flip. It's not in most tournaments, but this tournament, the winning score has been so consistent. Jamie G, 25 coins on the winning score. The line is 267 and a half. So if you want to go under the 267 and a half as a winning score, it's minus 120. Over is minus 110. The winning score has been between the 267 and 270, literally for the last decade, as long as there's been 4 rounds played. So what are you flipping the coin on here? Are you going over, under, 267 and a half winning score?
I'm gonna take the better. It's a coin flip, so I'm gonna take the slightly better odds here and take the over 267 and a half. I know that's probably not what a lot of people are thinking given the weather and everything, but I think the first couple of days are going to be pretty good here. So I'm going to take the over, take the slightly better odds at minus 110, 25 coins there to win back 47.
I'd say I'm going to just lean into it might be rainy, but it shouldn't really hurt distance as long as they have sight lines. This could actually help the golfers to a certain degree here. So I'm going to take the under, man. And Scotty Scheffler, man, playing the way he did those last 3 rounds here, I feel like he can book the minus 20. So I'm going to take the under here, under 267 and a half winning score, minus 120, 25 coins to bring back about 46. And let's finish out with a fun one here. There's no guarantee we can win this one, Jamie G, but we had our own fun trio here. Our guys further down the board here got some great names, decent golfers, have played well here before. We have to put 25 coins on one of these golfers to finish in the top 30. This is pure top 30, not with ties because that was not posted yet. Jamie G, we have the Sandwich Man, Tom Hoagie, plus 255. We got Billy Ho, Billy Horschel, plus 335. And then our guy, Jonathan Vegas, plus 455. Again, all 3 of these golfers got to pick one to finish in the top 30, not counting ties. So got to be a pure 30th or better. T29 counts, T30th does not. Jamie G, who do you have here?
Yeah, I got to go with our guy Billy Ho. Give me Billy Horschel plus 335. Look, he's been really good, if not excellent, on these tough, shorter courses. He finished tied for ninth here last season, knows it well. I really like him in this spot. 25 coins to win back 108.
He was my second option. I am going to go with the sandwich man here, the former champion. Pure
Oh, yeah.
course horse has not played well recently this season, but he had played poorly coming into some of his performances here. So, not going to put too much stock into it. I got the Tom Hoagie plus 255, 25 coins to bring back about 89. Go sandwiches, go hoagies. Just don't get a cheesesteak hoagie.
That that brings us to our one and done picks. This is the first signature event, so we got a $20 million purse with about 3.6 mil going to the winner here. Mills, who do we have as our one and done recommendations for the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Going to give you three recommendations here. One for those of y'all in smaller contests, called like 100 entries or less. One for those of y'all in medium-sized contests, call it between 100 and 500 entries. And then one for the big boys, 500 entries or more. If you're playing in the little guy, just use Justin Rose here. He's plus 2,800 to win the tournament. You cannot beat his combination of recent form and course history. And I don't know that I really would be using him in a major, in a one and done contest. So I think this is the perfect place to use him in a signature event with this big purse. In a medium sized contest, same kind of thing. I don't know if I'd use him in a major. So give me Patrick Cantlay here. He's plus 3,800. Solid enough history. Haven't really talked about him, but the last four times he's played here, he's finished 33rd, 11th, 4th, and 3rd. A little bit of mixed form to start the season. He missed the cut at the Farmers, but finished tied for 13th at the American Express. The numbers look good overall in terms of the model. Came in 12th, came in 6th in the metric for the tough Poa Green performance, and 21st in the metric for short, tough courses. And again, not a guy I really don't want to trust in a major. Maybe you could trust him a little bit in the earlier events of the FedEx Cup playoffs, but I'm not really interested in holding him that long. So I think in a medium-sized contest, great spot to use Cantlay. And if you're in a larger contest, I'm still going to reach a little bit here. Generally, when I'm playing in one of these bigger contests, I want to take more long shots early. If it works, that's great. You can front run and you have more access to some of the more top end options. But if it doesn't work, it also means you're still going to have greater optionality for those top owned options. So it will be easier to come from behind. So I would much rather use some deeper pulls here early in the season in a large contest as opposed to later. So how about Jason Day? He's plus 4,600 to win the tournament. I think he's going to pop a couple of times throughout the year as a guy you might consider as a one and done option, but this really might be as good as it gets for him. He is a pure course horse. Last four times he's played here, he's finished 13th, 6th, 24th, and 7th. Decent enough form, finished 30th at the Farmers, tied for second at the American Express. Looks decent in the model. So those are our three one and done recommendations. In a smaller contest, you got Justin Kiss from a Rose plus 2,800. You got Patrick Cantlay plus 3,800 for your medium contest. And in your large field contest, why not take a shot on the Dayo, the Day Man, Jason Day plus 4,600.
Finally, we need to make our picks for the Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood one and done contest. Mills, how did we do at the Waste Management last week? Did we get booed?
We might have gotten booed. Maybe they were saying boo earns. Maybe they were just booing. I'm not 100% sure on that. I made up a little bit of ground on you. You had Cameron Young. He finished tied for 41st, brought back about 34K. I had Maverick McNeely disappointed on Sunday, but finished tied for 13th, brought back 188 grand. So right now you have about 692 grand. I have about 510. So you're up about 182K. That means you have the honors here. You're first to go on the tee box. Who is your one and done pick? First signature event of the season. 3.6 million to the winner, 20 million in the purse. Who you got here for the one and done contest?
Mills, I'm going with our guy, Mr. Hen Dog. Poor little Henny here. Give me Russell Henley. He's plus 3,000 overall to win here, but he did finish second in our model. Finished tied for fifth here last year, and he's finished in the top 20 in both the events he's played in this season. I wouldn't say he's on an all-time heater or anything, but he's been super consistent. I like him to cash here and bring some money home to your boy.
See, I like him in a one and done. I'm a little worried on Draftkings where he's a little bit too chalky, but I think he is an excellent one and done play this week. I'm going to continue to stick to my convictions here. Go with our play for the small field contest. I just want to be Kiss from a Rose. Maybe it's Desert Rose. Maybe it's Kiss from a Rose. Maybe just Conceal married Heidi Klum. I don't really care here. But Justin Rose looking absolutely fantastic at plus 2,800 this week. So very, very much willing to put it up against your Russell Henley at plus 3,000. Let's see who can take home the more bucks. I'm just behind you. I'm looking to take the lead this week. Feeling good about it.
Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode of Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood. We appreciate you checking out the show. We hope that we helped you out. And if you have any questions, comments, whatever, drop them wherever you watched or listened to this episode. Or you can always hit us up on our social media. Mills will let you know where you can find us.
Thanks again for checking out Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood, presented by Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Find our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the web at seizethegapff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like those flaps. FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe if you had fun. Please remember to touch Mr. Thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. That's Jamie G. We love that you checked out Birdies, Bogeys, Bushwood, and we'll see you next time.
We'll catch you again next week, or maybe we'll see you at the 19th hole. Cheers.
I'm your real Desert Rose. That strange woman you've been hanging out with, she's an imposter.